What is going on? Welcome to the Bodega. Y'all can hear me out there? What's going on? Welcome to the Bodega. Mob Rats Exposed. I see you, Angel, Brian, Cuban B. What is going on? I am up to now 722 subscribers, which is freaking amazing. Last week, I believe I was up to, I think it was 670 something. And boom, I jumped up to 722. Man, I appreciate everyone that's been supporting this channel. I've put out a lot of content this week. I put out a lot of videos, and I'll go over that in a little bit. Mob Rats Exposed, what's going on? Hey, Mob Rats Exposed has a new channel. It's Mob Rats Exposed 2. His channel, I guess, has 2 strikes. So he started Mob Rats Exposed, and that shit's almost up to 1,000 subscribers. Mob Rats, what I suggest you to do is start a Mob Rats Exposed 3 channel. just in case the second one. You should have channels on deck. That's what you should do. What's going on? Tommy Agro, I see you. I might have a special guest coming on. I don't want to spoil anything, but I might have someone coming on. We'll see if he comes on or not. So Halloween is around the corner. Do y'all still do the dress up? I know I take my kids out and stuff like that, but y'all dress up. I haven't dressed up since I think I was like 14 or 15. My mother was never really into Halloween. Really, she took me trick or treating a couple times when I was a kid, but I never really got into the trick or treating thing. But Halloween is around the corner. The Albanian Syndicate, what's going on? Oh, Mob Rats Exposed 2 says I got a third for a backup. Yeah, you should start that shit now, Mob Rats Exposed. You should start that now. So yeah, it's Friday night. Let's go over. You know what? Let's go over the content that I put out. See, I was telling Mob Rats Exposed last week, that I was gonna put more content out there, and that's what I have. And I want to start going live on Tuesdays. Carlos Munoz, I see you. Ron Gross, what's going on? Yeah, it's fun for kids, the Halloween thing. I see you, Ron Gross. I'm just going over the videos. I wanted to go over the videos that I've done this week. I put a lot of content out there. That paid off. I'm up to 722 subscribers, which is freaking amazing. To start all over again. I've been doing this for like 3 months, my brand new channel. And I appreciate all the love and the support. I love how the fact that my channel is drama free, rat free. All right. So I believe the first video that I did this week was congratulating Elijah Moore. Last week I was telling Mob Rats Exposed that before I started doing this MobTube stuff, that me and my partners, Kane Chase Bo and Kane Chase J, we interviewed recruits, and Elijah Moore plays for the Jets, and is one of the kids that I've interviewed. He played in Ole Miss, and then he got drafted by the Jets, and he scored a touchdown. So good, congratulations to that kid. It feels really good when you interview these kids, and then you see because I interviewed a bunch of kids in 2015, and through 2015 to through 2018, I interviewed a lot of kids, and it's good to see them like in the NFL. My favorite team is the Buffalo Bills, and there's 2 kids on that team, my favorite team, that I interviewed, Zach Moss and Gregory Rousseau. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see what else content that I had put out. Give me a minute, guys. Oh, a rat is a rat. My first appearance on the Lee Cole show. I've never switched my stance as far as not fucking with the rats on here. And the other day I went and I looked at the old Lee Cole shows, and it's fucking crazy. Everyone was peaceful, no one was feuding. It was such a peaceful time, and I watched that whole video the first time I was on the Lee Cole show with Fatball Sicilian and Lee Cole. That was a really good show, and I put that video out there. Rat is a rat. I said it all the way. I said it on the Lee Cole show about the rats, and it's not a good idea to network with them or do any kind of platform them. Some do that, and I don't hate on you if you do that, but it's not a route that I want to go, and I don't want to platform rats, and it's just not my thing. And then the last video I put out, I mean, not the last, but after that video, was MobTube drama for subscribers. I guess there's a trend that's going on that, a video maker would go after another video maker, like a FBS, to get subscribers, like the Tona Pizza guy. The guy had 200 subscribers, and guy jumped up to 1,000 subscribers just starting beef. It's fucking crazy. See, and in that video, if you guys watched it, I did a little spoof video where I did a little pretend thing where I was going after FBS that I took footage of York and when like I was pretending I was looking for him. Like I said, if I would do a video about FBS, my channel would go boom. If I started beef with one of these content makers, my channel would go fucking. I'm telling you, my subscribers would go fucking insane if I did it, and that's not a route I want to go. I don't want drama, man, it's tremendous that everyone's in here, and guess what? I have a special guest that just joined, and this is going to be a very awesome treat for everybody. I'm gonna put him in here right now. Mob Talk Radio, how's your Friday night going, buddy?
It's raining like a motherfucker here.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Oh man, oh man. So what's going on? Halloween's around the corner.
Yeah, I'm gonna dress up as Angel Gotti.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Last time you were on, you were waiting to see the Halloween movie. Did you see it?
I did. I was not impressed. Not impressed. I mean, look, if you're going to kill somebody, I get it. But that whole scene where he comes out of the house and he fucking kills like 12 fucking firefighters. Come on. And then in the end, he's whacking 5 bums like a block over. Nobody hears them screaming.
That cocksucker never dies, huh?
No, never.
They can't kill him.
He's just like the rats. They never die.
Oh man. So speaking of Halloween, you did a very interesting article about Halloween in 1989. You got the Valentine's Saint Massacre thing, and then you got this Halloween thing that happened in 1989. For the viewers that don't know, what happened in 1989 and on Halloween night?
Are you talking about the hit on Nicky Scarfo Jr. that everybody's talking about and apparently gets wrong?
Yeah, well, you did an article about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's what a lot of people seem to get wrong is they want to blame a certain guy in Philadelphia for that, but the reality is I think that there was more initiative on other people's behalf to remove Nicky Scarfo than there was somebody in South Philly itself.
Mm-hmm. And Nicky Scarfo Jr., was he like a troublemaker or whatever?
Yeah, he was Mob Rats Exposed are going to love this. He used to beat on women.
Oh, shit.
Constantly. And he tried muscling in on turf that didn't belong to him because of his father. And he got shot 9 times. And as a result, his father had him made in the Lucchese crime family in the New Jersey wing, not New York, like some pinheads keep saying, to protect him. It's just one of those things.
Now, was he locked up with a stool pigeon before a Lucchese, like an acting boss of a Lucchese family that ended up snitching later?
Well, I don't know. Who are you talking about? Nicky Scarfo Sr. or Jr.?
Junior. Was Junior locked up? I read somewhere that Nicky Jr. was actually locked up with a Lucchese member that ended up flipping later.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I think anytime you're in maximum security prison, even minimum security prison, I mean, you're going to run into guys that eventually are going to turn, to the other side, the dark force, as we like to call it.
Yeah. So let's see what else is going on in the comment section. Justice Tech Pro, what is going on, buddy? I see him in the comments. Did you see his latest episode with Pascal? Like, fucking tremendous.
Yeah,
this guy was ready to rat in 15 minutes.
We never ever see, like, you hear a lot of people talking about like misconduct, right, when it comes to informants, but really never have we seen anybody play a video where it is so obvious that a guy's a lying sack of shit out of the fucking gate. Like, I've never seen anything like that. And it makes you wonder how on earth this pile of shit was even accepted on a jury. Like, I just don't even, I can't fathom that.
and he was quick, like he was quick to make deals with that. I believe it was the Mississippi. Was he in Mississippi or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
He was ready to cut a deal right there. He was
That's
gonna
what,
rat on the girl he was with. He was ready to go.
but it's a fucking. What I don't understand, it's a fucking drug charge. The max he's going to get is what, 2 years, and he starts going, "Oh, I know this one, I know that one." Like
Mm.
you're so desperate to not go to fucking jail for 2 years or a year and a half, you're going to start making. He makes other rats look like something. I'm telling you.
And then when they were interviewing him, because they show a scene when they were interviewing, he was trying to control the narrative. Like, I don't want to be recorded. And then the cop told him, "Look, you're not running the show here, guy." So
I
that's
That
fucking
just
crazy.
amazes me how this works.
Definitely, definitely. Let's see what else is going on. So, but for real though, what are you doing for Halloween? What's the play?
Nothing, nothing.
Nothing. You're not no
Uh,
candy. Did you celebrate Halloween when you were a kid?
Yeah, of course. Are you kidding me? Angel knows a good story. I just it's funny. This is gonna love my haters are gonna love this. But when I was like 8 years old, I was in Providence, Rhode Island, and I walked downstairs with my mother's camel hair coat on, which was same kind of John Gotti wore, and came down with my hair slicked back with Crisco in it, and told the world I was John Gotti.
That's right, because
Yeah,
you had interviewed Angel one time, and you had
yeah. We
mentioned
talked
that.
about this.
Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I was a really weird kid. What can I say? I idolized different people. What are you gonna do?
definitely, definitely. And you had your show yesterday. How'd that go?
It's really strange. People either like what I do or they hate what I do. But yesterday was one of those days where I talked about the RICO law for about an hour and a half, and I have had lawyers email me saying that they've never heard it described that way before. So that's good. I mean, anytime I can get somebody to think outside the box just a little bit for a second, it's not about the morality of the men that are charged. That's a
Mhm.
separate issue because where I come from is, and we say it all the time on a street level, is okay, you think I did it, but fucking prove it. And
Yeah.
that's sort of where I stand on that. You got to prove it.
Mhm. I had did a video because I was going over my videos that I did this week. I did a video about informants. Are they born that way? Do you think that it was always the snitch was always in them, or
Well,
do you,
listen, good parents are going to teach their kids always do the right thing, this, that, and the third. But you'll probably understand this. Did you ever go to a store with a bunch of your friends and you knew that this one kid was going to fucking steal something every time, and you always knew which one of the motherfuckers was going to tell?
yes,
So
yes,
to me, they're born. They're born.
hmm
Think about it.
born, yeah,
It goes back to elementary school. It's the same kid that raises his hand and volunteers to write the name on the chalkboard of the students that talk when the teacher's out of the room. That's the kid that caught a beating on the fucking playground.
yeah.
It just, look, you hear nothing, you see nothing, you tell nothing. That's just how it
Mm.
goes.
See no evil, hear no evil. That's one thing.
Absolutely not.
That's one. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, no, with the whole Rico thing, I've seen it happen to a couple of my friends. It's fucking outrageous. There was a guy that did 5 years for just wearing a bandana. It's fucking retarded. It's fucking crazy.
Well, they don't. The thing about the RICO law
Mhm.
is that, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to release that on YouTube or not. But the thing
Mhm.
is that they don't have to have proof beyond the preponderance of the evidence. If a jury just accepts the fact that it's possible that they acted complicit in a fucking conspiracy, then they're guilty. That is the difference between how RICO works and how other laws work. And the whole reason why RICO was even started was because gangsters, especially, were typically being arraigned in state court because that's
Mhm.
usually a state court charge. And what was happening was all these gangsters, even though there was overwhelming evidence, were getting acquitted, and the government couldn't stand that. So that's when they bring the RICO law in, what, 1970, I believe.
Mhm. We got a comment here. Anthony says the RICO law was on the books for 10 years before the feds used because they weren't sure how Blakely wrote it to be used. A fucked up law.
Well,
Yes.
the legitimate, I mean, he's partially right on that. The reason why it took so long was because the language in the RICO law itself was unconstitutional. Because originally, when they wrote the RICO law, it was designed to go after organized crime, and they were attempting to make it a crime to be a member of any group, be it the fucking Masons or the fucking Boy Scouts. And a lot of legal scholars sat down and said, we can't do this because that is not constitutional. So what they've done is they've reworked the term group into the term enterprise. That is the new terminology for a group. But you notice it's not illegal to be a member. It's not illegal to be a fucking terrorist in this country.
Yeah.
It's very, very lopsided.
Yeah, and that book by Joe Bonanno didn't help out either, huh?
No, it definitely did it. And one of the things too that nobody really mentions is that the RICO law, the way that it's been used against people is, especially Giuliani, he would use it to not only bankrupt your family, but he would threaten to arrest your kids, your grandkids, to put them in foster care. And what it did was it essentially made defendants have to plead guilty. They had no other alternative, because if they didn't go along with pleading guilty to one of the predicate acts or et cetera, then he would bankrupt them. Benito Chinjagante for 30 years beat the feds until Giuliani said, well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to go after your son, your grandson, your wives, your children, anybody. And he vitally said, all right, that's enough. But that's what the law has enabled them to do. And there is no oversight, absolutely zero oversight. They have what's called civil RICO. The prosecutors in a civil RICO case are protected, whereas they cannot get sued. So, for instance, if they take you to court and they trump charges, and it's found to be that the prosecutors are in some way, fashion, or form doing some sort of misconduct against you, there's no legal recourse against them at all. They're protected by that, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. That's crazy. And what was I gonna tell you? Yankees for Life asked when's the next time you're gonna go live? November. So you get that going on.
Yeah.
In November. Yeah, no, that whole Rico shit it's just fucking crazy, man. It's crazy. And I seen there's a couple of my friends got hit with that, and it's fucked up, man.
Well, I mean, think about it. Think about it for a second, right? Let's just pretend, for an example, Kane Shades is the owner of a bodega, and he's maybe selling a little drugs on the side. All right. The fact that, and maybe it's not even you, maybe it's one of your employees. You don't know he's doing it. You're not involved in it. You're not taking any proceeds, but because he's in your establishment, a RICO charge is going to hem you up. So then the second thing they'll do is they freeze all your assets, meaning all your bank account is shut down. So how do you hire a fucking reputable lawyer?
Yeah.
What if you don't own a home? You can't put that up as collateral. What do you do then? Now you're at the mercy of the federal government, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Well, did Gotti, Gravano, and what's his name, Frank Lucasio did they get hit with the racketeering charge?
That was big time RICO stuff. Yeah.
Well, see, why didn't they free? Because they didn't freeze Gravano's assets when he cooperated, no?
No, they didn't. And at the same time, the bigger question that nobody says is, why did he not violate his agreement when he got arrested in fucking Arizona for selling drugs to kids? How come the FBI didn't say, well, wait a minute, we cut you a deal. We gave you 5 years for 19 murders when technically you would have served 35, 40 years. Why didn't they go back into court and prosecute him? He claims the other day that he was in ADX. He's full of shit. He was never in ADX. He wasn't in solitary confinement for 7 years. He's full of shit.
Well, he was locked up with a bunch of informants in Arizona. He was definitely PC like a motherfucker.
Well, his story is that he went from Arizona to ADX in Colorado, where they kept gas pipe. Really? That's not where they put informants. It was doing state time, not federal time.
Well, I read the gas pipe book, and I don't know how accurate it is, but gas pipe mentioned that he had seen Gravano like when he was locked up.
I know that after the state time, I know the feds did come back and indict him, but there wasn't those sentences were concurrent. But I just don't. I don't. To be honest with you, I don't believe he was ever in ADX. They might have crossed paths in Altoona, which would make sense to me at the Velocity Suite. But I just don't buy it. I don't buy that he was an ADX. I just don't buy it.
All right, so hypothetically speaking, if
Sure.
Gravano gets pinched on something else, let's not throw Gotti in the mix or Frank Lucasio or whatever. Do you think he talks? Do you think he talks in a different circumstances?
Well, I
If
would.
this whole narrative, if this whole narrative about Gotti betrayed me, if he was looking at 30, 40 years, you think he folds in a different circumstance?
No, I think he folds either way. I mean,
Hmm.
he can blame John Gotti for every fucking problem in his life.
Hmm.
But what he never says and what he never admits to is the majority of the time when, God forbid, somebody had to get killed, he lied.
Hmm.
Lied. And I listen. I don't really want to get into it because out of respect for Angel, but I think that Sammy Gravano took advantage of the situation.
Hmm.
He's dealing with somebody that isn't going to tolerate nonsense from people, and I think he took advantage of John Gotti.
Yeah.
No,
Angel says Garvano was caught on tapes as well. No, what's up with that? No one really talks about that. Well, he was caught on tapes too, Garvano.
absolutely. He likes to
Hmm.
play the victim where he didn't do nothing wrong, and it was all John Gotti talking about him, talking about him. But you lose that argument with me, especially when you know that Frankie Loke had nothing to do with the DB hit,
Hmm.
but yet didn't bother to say a fucking word till the guy's on his deathbed. And when he's asked why he didn't, his excuse is, well, nobody asked.
Hmm.
Like, how is that a relevant excuse?
Yeah.
Nobody asked you?
Hmm.
Come on, fuck out of here.
It's crazy. It's this whole, and I was telling Mob Rats Exposed a few weeks. This Sammy Gravano phenomenon is fucking nuts. It's fucking crazy.
Well,
It,
he's not the biggest one that's going to come out. There's somebody 10 times, well, in my opinion, who's 10 times bigger than he is that is coming.
Are that
And I know that for a fact, not from the person, because you know me, I won't talk to a rat.
yeah.
I heard that Joey Messino is coming out. So you
Can you
better,
imagine that?
yep. So I
So
heard there's a book coming too.
Mob Rats Exposed. It looks like you got another one there, Joe Messina. That's crazy.
Yep.
And he basically ratted on the whole family. He put Vinny Gorgeous away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he, believe it or not, at one time he was the most powerful guy in New York City. A lot of people don't give
Mhm.
him credit for that, but you lose that sort of attribute when you tell on everybody.
And he was already facing like life in prison. What was it that made him fold? The death scared him because he was the first mob boss they were threatening to do the death penalty.
It
Was it?
depends. It depends on who you talk to, but
Mhm.
some lawyers that I know that were involved in that have told me that really the ratting fact had nothing to do with getting even with everybody. It's that they were threatening to go after his wife and his kids, and he didn't want to lose his wife, and so he made a
Mhm.
decision to do whatever he felt like he had to do. I think there's another way of going about it. Like, why do these guys never take the 5 million fucking dollars they have and just disappear?
Mhm.
Why do it's so easy to do that? Like, why don't they just fucking fly the coop? Why is it always got to be the rat move?
And he wore a wire too, locked up.
Yeah.
He actually a mob boss wearing a wire. It's
Yep.
fucking crazy.
And listen, he's not going to be the first and he's not going to be the last. There's always going to be somebody that, a friend of mine in South Philly always says, how come they never confess all their sins before they get arrested?
Mhm.
Like if they went into to the FBI and said, listen, I've been living this life 20 years. I'm tired of it. This is what I'm going to do. It's always after they get arrested that they do this shit. And it just proves to me, it should prove to you and to everybody listening that they just can't do time.
Mhm.
And that's the biggest thing. It's like I always tell you, if you're going to get involved in it, you're either going to be killed or you're going to go to prison.
And a lot of people, they say that, guys like you or me, when we're on that anti-rap thing, they think that we're glorifying the life. We're not glorifying that. We're just basically saying, I mean, if you're gonna do something, I mean, if you do the crime, like you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Well, and I think that a lot of people like to cherry pick too. You know, I have family members that got ratted out. I was ratted out, so I
Mm-hmm.
have a little different perspective than some people do. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is, and you know, people can say and think whatever they want because they always
Mm-hmm.
do it. You know, behind the scenes, never to you, always about you. You know, it is what it is. But do I glorify it? No. But do I believe in certain things that most people don't? Absolutely. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but
Yeah,
uh,
Tom.
I
Tom.
just I'm trying to be respectful that on your show. You know,
Definitely, definitely, definitely. You know, we try to keep it drama free, and Tommy Agro says Messina was absolutely ruthless for a generation. Then he turned state's evidence.
100%. He's absolutely right. He effectively after John Gotti went to prison would have been, and after Vanita Chin, the boss of bosses. This guy was a tough guy. He was a
Mm,
smart guy. He's the guy that said no more social clubs. He's the guy that said I wanted a moratorium, no more murders in the city. That's a guy that carries power because he knew that owning social clubs was a bad look. It got everybody pinched, and he didn't want people killed anymore because killing people brought fucking heat.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, was he good for some things? Yeah, sure, absolutely. But once again, like a lot of people that do this kind of thing, they like to cherry pick who they like and who they don't like. A rat is a rat is a rat. Bottom fucking line.
Definitely. And you have a question here. MTR, do you think that Philly Lombardo was the smartest boss of the Gemini's ever had?
No.
No. All right. Anthony says Vettel was an ex-cop too. I don't know what that's. I'm just reading the comment section there.
Yeah, he's talking about Joe Vitale, who is Joey Messino's brother-in-law, who started this whole rat shit.
Yeah, they let a cop in.
Yep.
That yeah, yeah.
Well, a lot of crime families have done that. Like one thing I will say, like I never understood how Ron Previty even got close to John Stanfa because that's the
Mm,
rule. You're a cop. Anybody you're related to is a cop. You're not in. Just like uh, there's just so many things and parameters that John Stanfa did that he made a guy that wasn't Italian.
I
But
didn't know about that. No,
his father wasn't Italian.
Mm.
So it's like I scratch my head on a lot of this stuff.
It's crazy, and they knew he was this fucking guy. They knew he was a cop.
Yeah, Gravity. They knew he was a dirty
Perfect.
cop. Yeah, he got thrown
Yeah,
off the force.
and they just let it. They just let him
Well,
mess. Yeah.
sometimes people get blinded by money, right? So John
Mm.
Stamfa sees the money that fucking Ron Previty can make, and you know what's funny is Previty ends up helping put Stamfa away, then tries to get on the Joey Merlino side of things, and the Merlino side of things knew from day one he was a piece of shit. That's why he couldn't get anything on them.
Tommy Agro says Messino should have received the death penalty for whacking Gernaldo, whatever. Which,
Shasha.
yeah, I couldn't pronounce that. Yeah, which never should have happened because he feared he knew too much about past murders.
Well, I mean, we could argue whether he deserved it or not. If I mean, I think Sammy Gravano deserved it. I think Nicky Scarfo fucking deserved it.
Mm.
You know, but they only kill each other, right? So how often past like the 1920s have you seen a death penalty case against a gangster other than say John Gotti Jr., who was facing the death penalty? And you wonder why his sister's pissed.
Yeah. Dallin Brook Clip says the feds would not release the tapes of Sammy because they were using him as a witness, so they made like the tapes did not exist.
No, he's right, and he's right. And the other thing that they were concerned with was the fact that they knew that Gravano was lying about a bunch of different stuff, and that's why Gaspipe Casso had his agreement torn up because he was refuting everything Sammy was saying. He says, "I was in the drug business with Sammy," and he was. And the minute that Gaspipe started piping up about that in the system, the feds are like, "Okay, we need to stop this," because the minute that the feds or any judge gives Casso any credence to that example, now John Gotti's going to get a retrial because it's going to be proven that Gravano's a fucking liar. There you go.
Mass FG says, "Give us a Ron Previty, please."
Ron Previty.
That's crazy, man. You always crack me up when you do that shit. All right. Just imagine. Okay. Here's another one comment. Just imagine if the roles were reversed. Sammy dying in jail and Gas Pipe doing YouTube videos. Can you imagine? Yo, can you imagine this guy doing YouTube videos as Gas Pipe?
You think Tony Pizza's fucking nuts? Put Gas Pipe on YouTube. Gas Pipe would kill people just for having a dream that they talk to the feds.
You think so? You think he'd be the absolute maniac?
100%. And that I would almost like to reincarnate him to watch that shit happen. You think that all these guys talking shit about each other is entertaining? Yeah, put Gas Pipe on YouTube.
Yeah, that 60 minutes documentary was very interesting with Gas Pipe.
It was, and yeah. I think, here's the thing: he's a rat, right? Okay, yeah. But do I think that there's some validity in some of the things that he said? Absolutely. I'm not condoning what he did. Did he get a raw deal? Yeah, I'm sure he did. But then again, this is a guy that killed some innocent people that had no idea, that had nothing to do with the life. So, I mean, you kind of get what's coming to you. You got to pay the piper at some point. I'm still waiting for Gravano to have a massive coronary live on fucking YouTube.
I believe that all informants are liars, and but who do you think was more truthful, Gas Pipe or Gravano?
Gas Pipe.
You was selling because in that book he said that Gravano's been selling drugs. They had
listen, narcotics. I mean, and here's the other thing. Nobody really mentions, and Angel may get a little upset with me for what I'm about to say because I'm going to say something about her uncle Angelo for a minute, but Uncle Angelo Ruggiero, okay, put out a hit on a captain of another crime family. Okay, and Jimmy Heidel was the guy that was used to shoot at Casso. They fucked up. Then Casso goes back, gets Heidel, tortures him, and murders him. At what point does there's rules to this, right? You can't just go clip another guy from a made family without permission. Mm-hmm. And so Gas Pipe was hell-bent on killing anybody who could get his fucking hands on. And I just think that there's a part of history there that Sammy Gravano isn't being told, like the fact that he was actually sitting in the social club when Frankie DeChico got killed. He doesn't admit to that, but the FBI paperwork says that he was there. And so my question is, what John Gotti looks like, right? Very debonair.
Of course, yeah.
You see what Frankie DeChico looks like? They look nothing alike. Mm-hmm. So Gas Pipe's a block away, right?
Yeah.
Pipe's a block away and says that he gets a call from inside the club that John Gotti's coming down to the club. Mm-hmm. Called him and told him that. Okay. Gravano tells his story that he went outside the building and he was picking up body pieces. Not true.
Yeah.
After the explosion, he was seen going down the street and getting in a car and leaving. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that I think that he just doesn't acknowledge. Because personally, I never met John Gotti, but I think I could spot him a mile away. Mm-hmm. How you confuse the two doesn't make sense.
So you think he thought that it was Gotti going in there in the car with the
I don't think no, because the way it sort of kind of went down was he got a call, they ran down there, and originally John was supposed to go to this club to iron out some things after Paul Castellano, okay? Mm-hmm. And then there was a call, and John was like, I'm not coming down. I'm going somewhere else. I got something else to do. Fine. Mm-hmm. But Gas Pipe had to walk down, and the cop that he used was the same cop that Gravano worked with all the time.
Oh, shit. So you're saying Gravano might have had something to do with that.
So Gas Pipe had this cop walk out of the club a block away from the car, and it wasn't attached. It was under a package, and they just slid under the car. So in broad daylight, nobody sees anybody slide a package under a fucking car.
Yeah.
So the guy that was responsible was a former cop that was an explosive expert that Sammy Gravano had used in another situation. So I've always thought Sammy Gravano, and who had the most to gain out of Frankie DeChico getting killed? Who had the most to gain?
Yeah.
Because Sammy was a nothing. He was a nothing.
I mean, this whole him being Gotti's right-hand man, he didn't get promoted to underboss till what, 89, 90. That was like a new thing, right?
It wasn't after until Frankie got killed.
Yeah, but he was there was another one that was in place though.
There was Joe Gallo.
Yeah, but Gavano didn't come in the picture to what,
No,
88, 89? As far
yeah,
as underboss.
yeah, no, you're right. And the reason why was because
Mm.
Joe Angalo went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Amy Gravano was never going to get that nod. Never.
Yeah.
So I
Mm.
asked you again, who had the most to gain by Frankie getting killed? Gaspipe didn't.
Mm-hmm. Gavano.
There you
I
go.
mean, it makes sense. Kane asked MTR if he thinks Chin knew about them, a Musso using the mafia cops. Did
I don't
Chin know
think
about that?
yeah, I know what I know what Dritto 5K is talking about. I don't think that Vinny the Chin knew. I
Mm.
really don't, because I'm going to tell you something. I didn't know him, but I know enough about him and people that did know him well. That would be a no-no. Using cops on anything would have been a big no-no with him. It would have been the same with John Gotti. It would have been a big fucking no-no.
Tommy Agro says Casso had a special relationship with Garvano for sure. This is more than Garvano has shared, definitely.
Oh, 100%. I've always believed
Mm.
that. They unfortunately, thank God for Angelo Ruggiero. John Gotti protected him. Had
Mm.
he not, that would have ended a different way.
All right. Gas Pipe had $1 million home built,
Yeah,
which he never lived. When it came time for payment, he killed the builder instead.
yeah,
Huh?
yeah. MJ is telling the truth. Yeah, he killed the contractor.
Mm. That is crazy, man. I'm just reading this comment section. So well, when's the next time you're going on live? Friday? And you're coming, November's around the corner, you're gonna be live
Yeah,
pretty soon.
I'm trying to figure out, because we're right at our year anniversary. We gave away $2,000 worth of prizes last year. We're going to do 4,500 this year. $4,500 worth of prizes and gifts, and we do trivia. You know that. You hear the show.
Yo, I'm definitely a subscriber, and it's a great thing, man. How you look out for it, like you look out for the subscribers, the paintings, the pictures. You
Well,
definitely, yeah,
if
you
I'm
definitely give back.
if I'm making a living on doing this, right,
Mm.
the best thing that I can do is give back to people that give me their hard-earned money to listen to my show.
Mm.
I see a lot of people, and this is not specific because it's all different genres all over YouTube. And
Mm.
I'll see people taking a lot of money, and they don't. What do you offer the people that are paying your bills?
Mm.
Like, I left YouTube. A lot of people speculate, and I want to address one thing, and I'm not going to be a dick about it, but there's been somebody who's been saying I quit podcasting. That's not true. It's just
No.
designed to start a bunch of shit. But I was making decent money on YouTube.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, I just wanted to offer people that really enjoyed my show a chance to be on a platform without all of the fucking nonsense that's on YouTube. I'm making 5 times what I was making on YouTube. So obviously, I made the right decision. But we're gonna do some live stuff in November. I'm not sure when. One part is going to be for subscribers only, like you,
Mm.
and then we'll do another one for just regular YouTube, and we're going to give away a ton of stuff. So let's see how many haters come in and try to get free stuff.
Well, this thing about you quitting the podcast, you brought a huge audience from YouTube over to your new platform,
Yeah.
which is Super Tech, no? That's where you could go and sign up.
Supercast, yeah, we're on
Supercast, yeah, Supercast.
Yeah, we're on Spotify too. And listen, when I left YouTube, I thought, you know what? If I can keep 10%, like everybody else, like I think I have 14,300 subs. That doesn't account. That only accounts for 30% of my views. I've got a whole other 60% that aren't subscribed. So I think when I don't know, how many shows have I done on the new thing? Like 20?
Close to there, yeah, 20.
375,000 downloads.
It's
So
crazy.
For anybody to say that I left YouTube because nobody listened to me and now I'm over here and nobody's listening to me, it's fucking nonsense.
It was a fucking ballsy move to leave I mean, you didn't leave YouTube officially, but you were, for those that remember, you were posting shows like every week or Sunday or Monday or whatever, and it was a huge for you just to leave a channel, 12,000 subscriber channel, and
I don't know of many people that would have. I don't think it's really balls. I think it was just a business decision. But I don't know how many people would give up their. I think I was making like 3,000 a month, maybe on YouTube. Anywhere between like, 2 to 3,000, 3,500, depending on videos. And when I left, I said, okay, I'm going to take a hit. I'm not going to make no money. And then all of a sudden, first day I opened, there's 300 subs on the new platform. I said, all right, well, this will be all right. And, every day it grows. And I wasn't going to give 34% to YouTube. Why am I going to, and then pay tax on top of it? So, and I see a lot of people doing this too. And it's just advice for anybody that wants to do this. Do not start a show and start charging people. I was in this business 7 years before I ever asked for anything. And I think people have a tendency to put the fucking cart before the horse. And you're not, listen, everybody, there's an ebb and flow to how this works. And I think what you're seeing now is they're topped off and they're not going anywhere else. And that's the difference between niche or trendy versus people that can really pull it and push it. And it's, I'm not knocking anybody. It's just advice, but I don't want to, upset anybody because, maybe I don't have enough followers for somebody to take advice from me.
but man, though, because I was probably one of your first listeners, like when you first started, and I seen you transition, like you went here, then you went here, and you changed, like in the beginning, you changed, opinions as for a lot of things, and I see the hate you get. There's like, well, Jeff Canarsie said in 2017 this and that. Well, in 2017, you had a different opinion.
Well, you're not allowed to change your opinion. That's the problem. Like how I feel about a person today may not be how I felt, in 2015 or 2014. I'm not allowed to change. I'm not allowed to grow because for people that don't know who I am, you think that this stuff you're seeing on YouTube is a train wreck. Go listen to some of my early shit and you'll hear me screaming. But you kind of grow out of that. And I realized that I sort of have a duty to people that are going to pay for something to just be chill. Be chill. But there is one thing that's never changed. I still fucking hate Jimmy Calandra.
Oh. Well, I dislike all the rats. I mean, I guess in this kind of platform, you can't there's a lot of people that like this guy.
You know why? Want to know why I have an issue with him? And it goes beyond the rat shit and him threatening me and all of this other stuff, which he's done repeatedly, is that where I come from, right? If Kane, if you do a show and you have an issue with me, I'm going to deal with you directly, right? I'm going to call you, or I'm going to text you, and we're going to do whatever. Why would I attack your sister? Why would I attack your brother? And that's what he's done. He can't take whatever fucking mental issue that he has and just deal with it. Instead, he wants to take it out on Angel every fucking time for no reason. What does that have anything to do with the fact that, what does that have to do with anything? What has she done to him? I know people are going to say, here he is pandering for Angel Gotti again. But the truth is, and she will tell everybody in the chat, from day one, 7 years ago, we've been thick as thieves and tight as you can be, like siblings. I'm going to defend her. If she's wrong, I'll say, you know what? You didn't have to do that. And she'll tell me constantly, stop swearing on your show, stop smoking, stop, But the reality is like, if Jimmy Calandra has a beef with all these YouTube people, what the fuck's that got to do with Angel Gotti? I don't know. This is a guy that was in the streets fucking 2 fucking years, ratted the first chance he got. How can he even compare himself to anybody? It's just, listen, I'm not trying to start shit on your show. I don't understand it. I don't understand why he would attack Angel.
It's fucking crazy. The guy's not like I said. The first video when the first time I ever went on the Lee Cole show, I was like, "Fuck rats." Even Calandra might offend people, but as a rat is rat, and as far as him attacking Angel, I don't know what his. He's not all there.
I just don't understand it. Like a man. I was on Lee Cole's show like when Lee first started, and I addressed Jimmy like a fucking man.
Yeah, I remember that.
He ran.
Yeah.
He ran. So I just think that at the end of the day, if more people just kept it like, and I'm sorry if I just brought drama to your show. I know you don't need it, but I just
Hey, we're rap free. Hey, I don't fuck with any of these raps. So fuck Jimmy Calandra. I'll say it. I'm not scared to say it. You know what I mean?
if people just kept the subject matter about the issue in hand.
Yeah.
Kane, I got a beef because you said this. Well, Jeff, I don't like you because you said that. Okay, then it gets squashed. But all this shit like has 70 fucking 5 degrees of nonsense attached to it. Like, just shut the fuck up. You got good. You're happy, you're safe, you're not in prison, you're making money on the internet. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about your life. Nobody is gonna live, breathe, and die on your fucking words. Not that we can understand anything the guy says.
Yeah.
Shut up. Leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
Leave her alone. It's easy to attack a woman, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's very disrespectful. And now listen, I don't want to get if for the audience there, if you like Jimmy Calandra, that's your fucking thing.
Yeah, everybody's entitled to like.
Everyone's entitled to if you want to go watch Jimmy Calandra, that's your thing. But around here, we don't fuck with rats. So
no, I just think at the end of the day, you can have a disagreement just like I can with you or with anybody, and you could be an adult about it. Just some of the shit that I've seen, it just come on. You're better than that. Everybody's better than that. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I apologize if you're going to get like nasty shit.
No, I don't see. Trolls don't fuck with me. It's fucking crazy that they don't come around.
Well, I'm on your show. They will now.
Yeah, but the first time that you came on, they were like everyone was on their best behavior. No one really said. I got a couple. After the show was done, I got a couple of this. Jeff is this. Jeff back in 1995 did this, and Jeff did this, and it's crazy. It's crazy obsession they got with you, bro.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Like that.
Yeah,
there's a couple of them. Like somebody at one point had posted my fucking social security card.
That's crazy. Like, how would they even get that? That's fucking nuts.
Because I had it on a, I had it on an old Facebook profile. I was like, because what had happened was I was moving and I needed a new one. So I said, well, let me take a picture of this. I'll save it on my Facebook. And I didn't take it off, and somebody got a hold of it. They've gone, like I told you, to my mother's house. My brother has still gotten phone calls from people. It's like they don't stop. Like I don't understand the mentality of that. Because I know, like even today, I got one that somebody in Gene Barella are going to come to my house and teach me a lesson.
You got a message like that? That's crazy.
Every day. But they're stupid because I get their home address off their ISP. So then I make a phone call and they're shocked when it's me on the phone.
See, this is crazy, and this is what people don't understand. This whole new mob tube. I don't want to mention any YouTubers, but everyone's bickering with each other. They don't realize the fucking bullshit you've gone through for 7 fucking years. And some of these guys, that's going through this drama, it's nothing compared to the shit you went through.
No,
I mean, you get hate mail every day. They make pages.
With all due respect to them, they're 3 months into it and can't handle it.
Yeah,
7 years.
Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy, and to actually 3 months into it, and I mean, shit, you have longevity, and you never ran. They never chased you out of here, and it's crazy.
They've tried. I keep hearing. I keep hearing the same stories. Oh, he was this, he was that. Oh, he said the latest one is I said my father was a gangster. I said my father was in the Navy for 7 years. So it's like people hear what they want to hear, and then they put their own little kind of spin on it. I was a Navy brat. I grew up. I was born in New York, but I grew up all over the United States. I never said I lived in New York my whole life, or I lived in Providence, Rhode Island my whole life. I never said that.
And then there's this thing where they get like some people say he's a gangster. He's not a gangster. You've never claimed to be a gangster. You've never claimed to be on YouTube and to be
being a gangster is a frame of mind. I've heard people say, oh, he's with this group, he's with that group. Then I've heard people say, oh no, he doesn't know anybody. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is as honest, and I'm not tongue in cheek in this. Whatever I do is what I do. One day I'm going to be this to them. The next day I'm going to be that. I don't care. They're not in my life. It doesn't matter what the fuck I do. But I will tell you one thing. They ain't going to say it to me.
Mm-hmm.
They never do. And that's not a tough guy thing. That's just that's like a high school playground thing. If you want to talk shit,
Yeah.
either talk shit or kick fucking rocks. And I don't.
Justice Tech. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. Justice Tech Pro says beliefs never change. However, how you approach situations and who accept in your circle will after and morph based on what's that? Can you read that? Maturity. Maturity. I'm sorry. My bad about that. My eyes.
Dominic is exactly right. I mean, it's not what he means by this. This is just my interjection to it. You know a bit of a background about me, and I grew up in the gang shit when I was a kid, and that escalated to more organized stuff. I never said I was in the mafia. I hung around mob guys all my life. I still do to this day. But here's the thing, and I want to make this very, very, very transparent. Just because guy A may be a street guy, he's still a human being.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that listen to these shows think, oh, he doesn't know anybody, because they look at them like Bob De Niro and Al Pacino, and they don't understand that these are men who will, if pushed, will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not, they watch Goodfellas too much, and they think that these people are just different than they really are. They're normal, average human beings. So if I'm around somebody, does that make me special? No. Does that make me tough? No. I had to earn that on my own.
At the end of the day, they're just the regular people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And what's this whole thing I heard on the show that people get this misconception how mobsters dress? Like they
think everybody wears suits and wears the gold chains and looks like a fucking chooch.
Yeah. It's just a regular dressing. Like you would never even know any.
Guys in Philly don't wear track suits. They wear jeans, a jacket, and a baseball hat. Guys in New York are the same way. You think guys are walking down fucking Myrtle Avenue in a fucking tracksuit going, hey, over here. It's not like that. That's how you could tell the difference between these fucking internet punks, because they slick their hair back. They got the fake gold chain on that's plated and all this nonsense. The $2 pinky ring. Who the fuck wears pinky rings? You know how many gangsters? I know probably 40 gangsters, made guys. Only one wears a pinky ring. One.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, 1980s. Come on.
That's crazy. So let's get off this subject for a little bit. So what do you think about Gotti 2 coming out?
Oh God. So somebody asked me this the other day, and I'll just kind of repeat what I said. That I have my interpretation of what I think it should be, because I'm a mafia snob and I like my movies a certain way. And then there's what Hollywood wants to do.
Yeah.
My difference of opinion will be and I've always said this, is I would like to see a Gotti film of John Gotti when he was 16 and 17 years old. Mm-hmm. Think about the music, the time period, just everything going on, how he meets his beautiful wife and then has kids. And then there's all the other stuff that comes with it. I think, to me, that's the story I want to see. Do I particularly, and I'm not saying this is the way it's going to be, do I want to watch John Gotti die? No, I really don't. I can't. I can't do it. Because no matter what anybody wants to say, that man was beloved.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe it was mentioned that the movie is going to show, it's a part 2 from the HBO movie. So they're going to show him in prison. Do you think they do flashbacks to him growing up?
I have said if they film it where they go and they do flashbacks, him of 17 years old getting involved in the life and just circumstance of his childhood. He did not have a very easy childhood. Neither did Angel's mom. They did not have great childhoods. And that, I think, kind of makes you who you are. And that's also, I think, and Angel will correct me, I think that's also what drew John and Vicky together too.
And John growing up, like him growing up before whatever he became, allegedly made whatever, before, that story's never told.
Well, no, and that's what like I want to see, like Charlie Wagons. I want to see all of these guys, these legends that you grew up hearing about. And to me, it's interesting. To Angel, I don't think it would be. It's her father. She sees her father as her daddy, right?
Yeah.
We see John sort of in a three-dimensional figure, and I think, and I just got to say it, and I'll never say this again, but I think the reason why I'm so defensive of her is because I don't think that people understand, to her that's dad.
Yeah.
All the bells and whistles that come with the name, she doesn't resonate with that. And I think it's unfair, but I think it would be a good film. I just hope to God they just don't show like 2 hours of somebody dying. I can't do it.
All right. This Jane Creek says an HBO series about Philadelphia and Atlantic City mob would be awesome. They
No,
don't. They've never did that.
there is
Not even in The Sopranos did they show.
all right. So here's something I really can't talk about, but I'm going to acknowledge it. There is something that is being worked on right now about Philadelphia that is going to be very accurate, that yours truly is writing. So there's also, I'm working on a Jimmy Burke biography. No.
Yeah, they've never, not even The Sopranos ever mentioned Philadelphia. Philadelphia, there's never been no kind of like movie.
No, and a lot of that I think is just because there's just so much chaos in different time periods. And I think if you start right as Bruno gets killed, well, then what do? Then you're going to show 45 minutes, an hour and a half, people killing each other.
Now, what do you think of this? This is interesting. Frankie Valli could have played Scarfo 20 years ago, huh?
Yeah, he looks just like him.
Yeah,
he looks just like him.
Yo, MJ says the Capone film should go in the dust. That movie was so disgusting. The Capone movie, the one that just came out.
Yeah, I made the mistake of watching that.
It was crazy. It was. I actually feel bad for the Capone family.
He wasn't, but you know what the thing is they Hollywoodized that a little bit. He wasn't that fucked up. I mean, he was fucked up with syphilis. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't that fucked up. But I remember turning it on. I'm watching it, going, okay, so he's got syphilis. He's got some problems. But then when he starts shitting his pants and singing Wizard of Oz songs, I just said, I can't do this.
But can you imagine if his family's still around to watch that? Like if someone made a
they are. But a lot of people don't know that the mob was going to kill him. They were worried about him talking. They were going to kill him at one point, and somebody stepped in and put a stop to it. But it is what it is. I think the Philly mob is definitely not all gone. Vikings fan, absolutely not.
But here's the thing with Capone. He was never a made man. Like the whole Chicago. I'm confused. Like I don't know about this, but the Chicago outfit, like how does that work? Like
Chicago was not okay. So Lucky Luciano wasn't even into making guys. He thought that was an old world sort of thing. And him and Vito Genovese had a big argument because Genovese wanted to keep that. And Luciano said, listen, that's what the old Sicilians do. We don't want to do this anymore. But his point was, and his argument was that if they kept it, it would keep guys in line. They would know what to expect if they broke the rules, and that's why they kept it. Capone could give a shit less about that. He could give a shit less about tradition. It was all about money to him. Yeah, that's the way it always was.
And your thoughts on the Meyer Lansky movie? Did you watch it?
Yes.
What did you think?
I love Harvey Keitel. I always have. I just think it was a little weird. Listen, I like to see things from beginning to end, not middle, left, right, backwards. Like the Tarantino style of just jumping back and forth in time periods to me just isn't. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm weird like that. I like my mob movies to be a certain kind of way.
All right, this is a good one. MTR, how about my New York Rangers?
I fucking hate the Rangers. Fuck Fuck the Rangers.
Oh man. Capone came from Napoleon. Think they're called Metro.
No, they're called Neapolitans.
Neapolitans, different from Sicilian.
Yeah, they're very different. They look different too. Neapolitans often have lighter hair, lighter eyes, whereas Sicilians are darker. Skin's darker, eyes are darker, stuff like that. It's not always that way, but I've seen some Sicilians with red hair. I've seen Neapolitans with black hair. It just depends.
James Jameson says Joe Kennedy was a gangster. He was, he was kind of a gangster
He
there
was
with
a
the whole.
narcotics trafficker and a bootlegger, of course. He once got named president of the bank by overtaking the bank. Kennedy did. Listen, the whole Kennedy money and the things that they have, it was all designed from organized crime. They didn't make an honest dollar their entire life. That's just true.
Mm.
But you also kind of look at some of the shittier things that have happened to that family. And you kind of ask, a lot of people say, yeah, hey, Captain, go fuck yourself. How about that? You look at some of the bad things that happen to the Kennedy family and everybody says there's a curse, but you kind of got to wonder why. Like, why do all these bad things happen to that family? And I think a lot of that's just from the sins of the father, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, let me check the comment section. South Philly, what is going on? Old Blue Wise. Yo, Jeff, man, can you believe I'm up to 722 subscribers.
You'll be at 1,000 before you know it.
Yeah. And it's crazy. I've only been on here for 3 months, and man, and I'm really enjoy doing this every Friday. Man, the comment section is so cool. Like,
you got to go twice a week. And what Vikings fan says right here, the live equals 50 times better than all the other drama shows. And that's why I told you I'll do your show anytime you ask, because I come in here and there's always like 2 or 3 or 4 people that are silly and want to say dumb things. But for the most part, we can have a conversation and nobody's screaming at each other.
Yeah, and I always, when I see on the screen, I just ignore it. Like I see something, fuck it.
Normally, well, it's your show, so of course I do. You imagine what's going to happen when I have my own show?
Oh man, and it's only going to be for paid subscribers, or how?
Well, I'm going to do like probably 3 or 4 a month, and 2 will be for paid subs only. And then the other 2 will be for like normal people like this. And I'll have you on and anybody else that wants to come on and talk about stuff. But it's not going to be like anything that you're saying, because the difference between me and everybody else is I'll actually talk about the mafia.
Yes.
I'll actually talk about organized crime. And I won't ask you to give me money every 3 seconds either.
Yeah. That's what I know. Like I'll just come out and say I'm not a mob historian. I don't.
Neither am I.
No, I mean, as far as all these YouTubers, you're very on point compared to the rest. As
well,
far
I think that the issue, I think the issue with me, is that my phone going? Oh, whatever.
Yeah, that's your phone there. Yeah.
It's hidden somewhere in my penthouse, in my penthouse in the homeless shelter, which I live in.
Yeah.
I think what people take an issue with me is because I just state facts and I'm not afraid to say anything. I'm not afraid to say how I feel, and I won't back down. And to a lot of people, they don't, they just don't like that. And it's okay. I'm not for everybody, but for every 3 or 4 people that hate me, there's like 10,000 others that like me. So listen, I'm only here to educate, entertain, and if people get something from it, then I'm happy. But I could care less about all the nonsense. It doesn't make my day.
Yeah, like as far as me, I'm like I don't really know that much about.
Look at Angel. She had to tell everybody I'm not homeless.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard there was someone was going around saying you were homeless and shit. I've heard so much shit about you, Jeff.
And I live in a $2,800 a month apartment. Let them pay for that.
A few years back on your Facebook, you have a Mob Talk Radio Facebook page, and like I commented, great show or something. Yeah. And like the next day, someone, do you know Jeff did this and over here in high school? Do you know Jeff did this? I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
the truth of the matter is, and I'll say this publicly, and Angel's going to yell at me, but Johnny people to say that. I have proof of it. I can prove it. This is what he does, and he's done this for years, and that's okay. Listen, I don't know why people say what they say, but it seems to me like, and I could be wrong, all they desperately want me to do is acknowledge their existence. The minute I do that, they get some sort of satisfaction. But at the end of the day, while they're sitting at home on every one of these chats screaming about me, this, me, that, what are they really doing with their life? I mean, really, at the end of all they are is bullies. That's all they are is bullies.
Jojo wants to know how you feel about Bobby Luisi. Really,
So
yeah.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can say this because
Mm,
I know somebody that was, I don't want to say tight with Bobby, but
mm,
because Bobby was with Philadelphia, uh,
mm.
all I've ever really heard was that the guy was full of shit in
Yeah.
every kind of way imaginable. He always said he had money he didn't have, but that's his thing, and he could tell whatever stories he wants. But I have to say this, unfortunately, he didn't testify against any of those guys in South Philadelphia. He
Mm,
refused to. He did rat other people out, but he didn't rat out people I know.
mm.
So maybe there's some sort of redeeming quality somewhere in him. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it because of how I see how he acts.
Yeah. MJ says interesting, controversial guest tonight.
I'm
Yeah.
not controversial at all. I either like somebody or I don't fucking like somebody. What? So it's
Yeah.
okay for them to call me like a pedophile, and I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
respond by saying I think they're a jerk. Like
Hmm.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think it was making a like
No,
controversy. I mean, yeah.
I'm being facetious.
Yeah. You
I know.
definitely there's a lot of controversy with you. Like
Oh,
that.
always, always.
Yes. It's crazy.
And
What
let me ask you a question.
go ahead, interview me.
I want to
Anything.
make this a reference.
Yeah, yeah.
So, can we agree that mob guys are tough guys and aren't going to tolerate shit from anybody?
Yeah.
So, if, for instance, I talked about Philadelphia or New York and ain't nothing happened to me, what does that
Mhm.
say?
Uh that says that shit, that says a lot. That says that
That says
no
that
one's fucking with you.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And there's a reason for that is because everybody wants to think that they hate me, but they really don't. They know
Hmm.
what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
Hmm.
And it's oh the one thing is I got some nasty thing about I never post photos with anybody. I'm not a fucking rat. I'm not going to post a photo with anybody.
Hmm.
Like that's stupid. Where I come from, you run away from things like that. You don't take photos with guys like that.
This is a good question right here. Kane asked MTR who his dream of get for an interview. Who would you like to interview? And I was discussing this with you. It's so hard to get interviews doing this genre because there's so many
I've
rats.
I've gone 7 years without having to do it. Who says you got to
Mm.
do it?
So, but do you have like a dream? I don't know, like an Al Pacino. Do you have like a dream of like someone that you would
Yeah,
like to
I have
interview?
to. One would be I would love to talk to Angel Gotti again because we
Hmm.
always have a good time. Until my father.
And on the Angel Gotti, that was the first interview she ever did on your show.
Yeah, I had to unfortunately take it down
Hmm.
because of some legal stuff, but her
Hmm.
and I could do it again. But no, I think she would be my number one, and two, I think would be my father. I think my
Hmm.
father would get a large kick out of what I'm doing, but he would also say, "Oh, Jesus Christ, son, what are you doing?"
Yeah, that's crazy. Godfather 4. Do you think they should make that movie?
Yes, and how I would write it is I would have it in the 1980s, and they're in the narcotics trade. That's
Mm,
exactly what I would do. And they're no longer trying to legitimize themselves. Now they're at a full on war with other crime families over narcotics. That's what I would do. That would sell. Uh, I think they lost the audience in part three with the Immobiliari and all that stuff at the Vatican Bank.
yeah, that the Godfather 3 thing was a little, yeah.
But that when the daughter gets killed, like I couldn't
Mm,
take it. I couldn't take it. There's just certain things you don't do, and that was a big thing in the Italian community. How
mm,
could they kill their daughter? Who would do that? It
mm.
just
The casting, the role, the daughter role,
Sophia Coppola.
yeah, they were trying to get I can't pronounce a no who writer no the chick back in the early 90s. What's her name? She was in Beetlejuice. Um
Oh
the,
Christ, I haven't seen that film in a long time.
no, my comment section will help me out. No, Noyoda writer, whatever. They were trying
Oh,
to get her.
Winona Ryder. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. They were trying to get her, but then I guess they
you really can't do it without Andy Garcia. Like I didn't know Andy
mm.
Garcia was Cuban for the longest time. I
You
thought
didn't know that?
no. Well, I know that obviously now, but
Yeah, yeah. But
I
back in the
thought
days,
he was
yeah.
Cuban. I thought he was Italian. I believed it. He's Italian.
Yeah,
Plus, you're like, no, he's Cuban. I'm like, same thing.
yeah. No, it's
But, you know,
he did an amazing job in that movie, though. He did it, but some of the casting in that movie really wasn't that good. The daughter role, they could have got a better actress.
I think the whole dichotomy of Vincent having sex with his
The
first
cousin, yeah, that was
creepy to me.
yeah, yeah.
But somebody I know that was a pro boxer, I forgot his first name. His last name is Antifermo. He was the guy that was when they were cutting the Cadillac with the key. Hey, Joey Zaza, and he's cutting the Cadillac with the key.
Yeah.
Big tough guy in the coat. He's a pro boxer. He's out in Ozone Park all the time eating at my buddy's restaurant. Nice guy.
So what do you think? I never really liked this. I tried to watch it. It was on regular TV, The Last Dawn. Did you like that?
So I read the books. The books are better.
Okay.
But here's my thing. Like, as much as I love Danny Aiello, I could not get into the whole Clara Cuzio ripoff of the I mean, come on, the Corleones are like the creme de la creme of the mafia. And you expect me to believe that a guy named Pippi is a hitman? Like, get the fuck out of here. Even though I love Joe Mantegna, but I watched it the other night on YouTube.
Oh, The Last Dawn?
Yeah, it's on YouTube for free. So I watched it the other night and says, Jesus Christ, what the fuck did I like this for?
And what do you think about? I seen on YouTube and I watched it once and it was okay. It wasn't that good. It was okay. The Paul Castellano movie was all right, but you didn't like it. It was okay. The Paul Castellano movie.
No, I think I think the closest they're going to get to anybody even physically resembling Paul Castellano was from the first Gotti film on HBO.
Oh, that one was a good one.
Yeah.
If you had, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If you had to reboot a movie, what movie would you reboot? If big movie production gave you money to do a movie, to reboot a movie, what would it be?
Are you talking about organized crime or just in general?
And a mob genre, like a mob genre.
I would probably want to remake Little Caesar.
Little Caesar, okay.
From the 1930s, or Scarface from 1932 with Paul Muni.
They did though, but they put the whole Mario Boatlift thing into that.
Yeah.
You're saying as far as that Scarface, the one in the 30s,
not the version that we all talk about all the time, which is a great film.
I see Donnie Brasco in the. You didn't like Donnie Brasco movie, huh?
No. It drove me fucking crazy. Michael Madsen drove me fucking crazy in that film. Even though he's a great actor, I loved him in Reservoir Dogs. I just they made Lefty Ruggiero like some bumbling, stuttering prick who couldn't earn a dime. But in reality, the real Lefty Ruggiero was somebody you did not want to fuck with, like on any level. They kind of made him like a sad character. I get it. That, and I kind of had an issue with Johnny Depp. I've had an issue with him for a couple of years now with some of the stuff he's chosen to do.
I did not to talk. It's funny. I did a show with it was the last show I did with Lee, and we had a Johnny Depp guy. Like there's a guy that, and it was the last show I did with Lee. And it was funny. Like there's some Johnny Depp fans that really love Johnny Depp. And I subscribe to his channel, and every day he's talking about Johnny Depp. So
it's funny because he was talking about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, and then,
yeah. He talks like that guy that we had on. Yeah. He's on that every day.
Yeah, and like five minutes into it, he says, "Well, I hit my old lady once." Like it's like you're complaining about like a domestic issue, and yet you're admitting you did it. Like these people, oh my god. You went over an hour, Cane Shades.
Yes. I see Angel said go longer. I seen she said that like 5 minutes ago. When you're on, it's like my longest show, the longest shows that I've ever done. And I am gonna take your advice as far as going live more than once. So I'm thinking about going live on Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, and listen, you ain't gotta go like 2 hours on a Tuesday. Go for an hour on Tuesday, and don't be afraid to like do trivia and do different things. Like it's the bodega where anything can happen. You know what I mean? You don't
definitely.
You don't have to be like genre specific, and that's why you're better than everybody else, because there's no bullshit. I'm looking in your chat and it's like everyone's
hanging out, having a good time, and that's what I want.
It's
No,
like
every,
everyone's drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette, doing their thing,
definitely. Why haven't they made a Jimmy Burke movie yet? Like, what the hell? Why? Like, you had the Goodfellas, but Jimmy Burke. Why haven't they, got around doing that? Because that would be really interesting.
I don't think enough people know about his life. And listen, at the end of the day, when I say mafia or I say gangster, 9 times out of 10, the first thing that's going to come out of somebody's mouth is John Gotti. It's
Mhm.
just the reality. Al Capone, John Gotti, Jimmy Burke is relatively unknown, but what Jimmy Burke went through as a kid was just horrible. Just being
Mhm.
abused by people, orphanages, just horrible crap happened to him. But
Mhm.
he's still a good guy, still a very good guy. I'm actually working on a screenplay about him right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And okay, in the movie Jimmy Conway, was Conway his last name
now,
or
Jimmy
the?
Burke. They just called him Jimmy Conway in the film because if they use Burke, the family can sue.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right, let's check the. Have you watched Cocaine Cowboys?
All of them, one
Mhm.
and two.
Did you like the one that was on Netflix? Did you catch that one?
I thought it was amazing how they kept beating all the cases. To me,
Yes.
that was like really intriguing. I think my favorite was when Griselda Blanco was dating the black guy from San Francisco. I think it was, or
Oh, that
from
was the second movie. Yeah, 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 yeah.
this one was pretty good too. I like the Cocaine Cowboys things. That's something good you could put on in the middle of the night and just kind of drift off
Mhm.
watching. And then you wake up an hour later to like screaming and gunfire. You have no idea what's going on, but
Yeah.
I liked it. Like I liked the fact that they were low key in a sense, but kind
Mhm.
of let everybody know on the down low, this is who we are. Don't fuck with us, kind of a deal.
Mhm.
Eventually they always get caught, right? It always makes me wonder about some of these narco guys like Pablo Escobar. He
Mhm.
had enough money to bring in hippopotamuses to a
Yeah.
fucking country that didn't have them. Why didn't he just
Yeah.
take his money and just move to like
Look.
Italy and just,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
that's the problem. How much
Well,
money is enough? I always tell people in the streets, have a number in your head, and when you hit that number, get the fuck out. Be done with it.
well, the thing with Pablo Escobar is he was trying to run the country. He got into politics. He
Yeah,
was
I
trying.
know. He
He
wanted
was trying to. He was trying to take the country. He was trying.
Oh, and listen, the CIA,
CIA.
CIA, and DEA had no problem giving him money and guns and anything he needed.
Hmm.
But once he started to get a little too high up, they said, "Nope, none of this."
Yeah, and the one thing about the drug game and the cartels, you know, a lot of them they fucking snitch. Like
Yeah,
like a lot of these guys snitch, man, because it's mostly it's not organized. It's not like the New York. It's just everyone just trying to make money, and they get pinched with a kilo. The drug game's very that they're quick to fucking rat on someone.
well,
And
yeah, a lot of that I think is because you get so much time for it.
mm-hmm,
You just get so much time. Like I remember back in the day, a friend of mine who I didn't know before he got pinched. I knew him after the fact. I met him through Anthony Center, believe it or not, and we kind of are from the same area. Uh, that he got a 30-year sentence first time out with like 600 pounds of fucking pot in a U-Haul.
mm.
Like
Yeah, they don't fuck around. In
first,
Miami, you get caught with a kilo. Oh, forget about it.
yeah,
You're riding out.
go
They
big or
don't
go.
fuck around. Well, it's that whole Ronald Reagan shit in the '80s that really.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Listen, the CIA had no problem getting everybody fucking stoned and high, and the crack. A lot of people think that African American people invented crack. They didn't. It was the fucking DEA that invented crack and then unleashed it on the fucking neighborhoods and then taught people how to fucking make it.
Mm.
And they do that for whatever reasons that they do. I don't want to say too much. They might shoot me through my fucking window at the homeless shelter.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this. There was a documentary a few years back on the Fire Festival. Are you familiar with the Fire Festival?
Okay, so if I insulted everybody, are these about all the weirdos who like stand around dancing and shit and taking drugs?
No, Ja Rule. Ja Rule, the
Oh, okay.
rapper.
Now I know what you're talking about. All right.
They try to do this festival, right? And they said it was Pablo Escobar's island on Norman's Key. They got it wrong. it was what's his name? He was in the Blow movie. It wasn't Pablo Escobar's fucking island. It was the Colombian German. What the fuck was his name?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I
Yeah,
I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about.
yeah, it wasn't his island. So they were promoting it was Pablo Escobar's island, and was never his island. It was if you watch the Blow movie, it was they called him Diego, but no, Diego was his name in the movie. It was Carlos Letter. That's what it was named. It was
Yeah.
Carlos Letter's island, Norman's Key. It was never Pablo Escobar. So and even in the documentary, they were saying it was Pablo Escobar's island. It was never his
I
island.
thought it was a scary guy, man.
Yeah, he was a lunatic. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. So Pablo Escobar definitely like he definitely wouldn't go to Norman's Key to fuck with Carlos.
Oh no,
He was a fucking maniac.
no, not at
So
all.
what else is going on, man? Shit, man, we're up to 79 views. We've been on 78, 79 views for a good minute here, man.
Is Angel still in the chat?
I have not seen her.
She
Let's
dips
see.
back and forth.
Yeah. Well, I
No.
think we're the only ones live. I think we're the only, like,
Yeah, you got lucky. Well,
yeah.
somebody. Never mind. I can't say that. Never mind.
Yeah, you know what? I respect all the content makers here. You know it. Yeah, Angel's there.
I know.
You know, I said this early. If I would attack YouTubers, my channel would be like crazy. Like I had 2,000 subscribers. If
Oh
I
yeah.
started if I started going after these motherfuckers,
Right.
I did a spoof video where I'm driving down. I got like footage of York pretending I'm looking for.
I saw it. I saw it. Yeah. I see. Here's the thing, though, right? So like people try that shit with me all the time. They attack me, then I go at them, and I watch their sub count go up, and it's like I don't respond to it, not because some people say, oh, he won't respond or because he's a wimp. I just don't respond because I just don't give any credence to anything anybody has to say. And I'm gonna and I want to address one thing here because I keep saying this all over the place, and I just want everybody to understand what I'm about to say. I don't hide my face from anybody at all. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I do it on this is because they will take a screenshot and they will put that I'm a pedophile all over Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of an updated picture. I happen to enjoy my privacy, but yet I get stopped, believe it or not, a couple of times a month in Manhattan. People recognize me in the streets. I go to Philly, they recognize me there. To me, showing my face, what's that going to change?
Yeah.
I just too many people have like done the pedophile shit, and I'm not going to give them the satisfaction of doing that.
Yeah. And also, sometimes the best response is no response. I noticed there's a little trend with you where some of the content makers try to name drop you so their subs could go up. And if you give them that satisfaction, you give them what people want.
Well, and you notice how many of these shows do I go on?
Mm-hmm. None. Oh, well, except mine.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody else's show I will. I just won't do it. And it's not because I don't like them or they're taking advantage of me or anything like that. It's just that you run a good show. There's no drama. I can just be me and say whatever I want to say and not feel like, oh, great, tomorrow this one's going to say whatever. But for the most part, everybody's kind of left me alone. I have my thing with Lee Cole. We had an argument. We debated it like men in front of everybody, and that's it. It's like a virtual shake a hand and move on, and that's it.
Now I want to address this. Pablo snitched on the Carlos letter later. I don't know if that's accurate. That's according to George Young, because George Young, I believe, testified against Carlos letter, and he said in an interview that Pablo said go ahead, and we don't know if that's accurate or not.
Show me the paperwork.
Yeah, I've never heard about Pablo snitching, but that's what George Young in the Blow movie. They don't show in the Blow movie where he's dropped out. He's a snitch.
Yeah,
So what else is going on? Wow, man, an hour and 30 minutes. Should we push it longer? What's going on, guys? You guys want more of the bodega? Everyone's just hanging out.
Hit 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Yeah. George Valdez was a powerful guy too. Do you know anything about him, King Chase? Well, yeah, George Valdez was in the New Cocaine Cowboys. Um, I know he took the stand. I know he took the stand, and Albert Krieger ripped him. And according to the he took the on who was it? It was the two brothers or whatever. He did take the stand. So and what's his name? John Gotti's lawyer ripped him. If you watch that movie, so what else is going on? You don't really know too much about cartel stuff and all that. Like you never really get into that.
I know people that are in cartels. Does that count?
Mm.
I know some big
Yeah.
people that are involved in stuff like that. I just,
Mm.
you know what? Here's my deal with that, right? So if a mob guy gets angry at me, I could probably talk my way out of a problem if it was a real serious issue. With the cartel. You can't.
Yeah.
So I don't fuck with them like that.
They'll kill your whole family.
Yeah, I'm not gonna just. It's not for me.
Mm.
It's not for me.
Yeah, it's in the '80s in Miami. If you were Cuban, you had some. My father was involved, and you know he was involved with something, you know, and it's crazy. It was really big down here, and it was you know, a lot of Colombians and Cubans, the whole Mariel boat lift. It was really big down here. The Dayland shooting, it was fucking crazy. So, and eventually broke up my mom and my dad's marriage.
Yeah, it sucks.
My mom divorced my father when I was 3. So it's crazy. It was crazy down here. It calmed down as far as cartels and shit like that in the early '90s.
Gee, so killed a cartel guy.
What is it? Carlos killed a hitman.
No, Jane Creek says Gianni Russo killed a cartel guy. That guy is the biggest.
It's crazy.
That guy is ridiculous.
The guy in The Godfather 2.
Oh my God, please. He doesn't know how to add or subtract.
Let me ask you something. What do you think about DJ Vlad platforming rats?
Well, I mean, he's certainly entitled to do what he wants. I just don't think he does his research. I think if you can afford to pay people $10,000 to come on your show, you can afford to do the basic background check and not have somebody like an Anthony Ramundi, who's a fraud in every sense of the word, who's now telling people he started the Colombo War because he got shot. Nobody knows. It's so stupid. I just think that if you have a big audience like that, I think that they sort of lose focus on really doing good interviews, and they just sort of subjugate themselves to bringing on whoever they can. Maybe it's for entertainment. I don't get it.
Vlad's just grabbing anyone at this point. He doesn't give a fuck.
Hey, pays me $10,000. I'll go on his show.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes into it, I'll fucking embarrass him and ask him why the fuck he keeps having these goddamn clowns on his show who are frauds.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly why Patrick Bet David will have nothing to do with me and some of these other ones.
What do you think about this thing that's coming out with Sammy and Michael Francis?
I don't know. They keep teasing it like it's going to come out. It never does. Do I think it's scripted? 100%.
They're saying that it's coming. It's going to come out in 2022, late 2022.
Why would you hold a stupid documentary off that long?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? You know why? Money.
It looks staged though. Like, I'll eat you alive. It looks crazy, and they're on an island, and it looks a little staged.
They should have given them both a slice of cheese, a cheese grater, and said, "You two rats fight each other to the death on live TV." I would have loved to have gotten involved in that.
Elliot says Vlad, in my opinion, is a terrible interviewer. You know what I'll say about Vlad? He's a hard worker. And I think that's why he's got where he got. He may be a horrible interviewing his platform rats, but the guy has been doing this since 2008. And I think if you stick to something, you know, and you're consistent, and it basically, you know, it pays off.
Well, I think legitimately speaking, he probably has somebody that works for him that gets guests for him. And he probably doesn't circumvent that. And he probably says, well, who am I having this week? Some guy that says he was in Vietnam and killed 180,000 people. And he also started the Colombo War. Oh, all right, bring him on. And at that point, what does he care? Everybody's going to watch anyway. I think people lose sight of what's real and what isn't. You know?
Yeah. Dude says he says it's not scripted at all. Like he thinks we're stupid.
Well, I don't think they wrote a screenplay, so to speak, but what I think
Mhm.
is prior to the scene, someone will whisper to Sammy, "Hey, Michael called you a cocksucker about
Mhm.
10 minutes ago." And they'll play the game with them like a reality show. Like none of those things are real, right? And they intentionally start fights. Do I think that they absolutely don't like each other? Absolutely. I don't think
Look,
they like each other, but I think a lot of this is fucking nonsense.
look what Angel says here. I'm going to get my nun costume and tell Vlad I'm a nun.
All right. So Angel can dress as a nun. I'll dress as Angel, and we'll both go to the show together. Which one of us gets arrested first?
You know what I could? You know what? And a lot of people do not know this. You know what that I did before Vlad did? I interviewed Angela Means. You know, by Felicia from the
Yeah,
Friday
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
I interviewed her. I was one of the first to interview her. I interviewed her before Vlad, and the reason why is when I was doing my Miami Hurricane podcast, the quarterback Brad Kaya's mom was Angela Means, and we ended up interviewing her back in 2015. And I'm telling you, she's an interesting character, and she was great. She was great down here. She started Canes United Moms, and she helped out a
Wow,
lot of
cool.
people. She was a cool lady. But yeah, I got to interview Angela Means before Vlad, so I could say that.
It's weird. I've had a lot of what I typically get is I get a lot of these book authors. Like there's a guy that recently just wrote a book about the mob, and he was an undercover FBI agent. Apparently, he doesn't listen to my fucking show
Mhm.
because he sent me some draft of his book and said, "I'd love to be a guest." And so I responded by saying, "Have you ever fucking listened to my show? What makes you think I would ever talk to a
Mhm.
fucking FBI agent? Like, get the fuck out of here." I get all of the book people. A guy that you should really, and maybe I can hook you up with him is a guy by the name of Scott Deesh.
Mhm.
He writes about the Tampa Mafia. He's a
Okay.
Mafia historian.
Mhm.
I met him at the Joe. Well, he introduced himself to me at the Joey Merlino trial.
Mhm.
Kind of friendly. He's also on the board of directors at the Mob Museum.
Mhm.
If I can get him, would you be interested in interviewing that guy?
Definitely. You know, my father actually lived in Tampa, and I have a half brother that lives in Tampa. Definitely,
Because
I
he
would
could
love it.
talk to
Yeah.
you about like Santo Traficante and like the
Mhm.
history of the Bolita rackets and stuff like that. He's a really good guy too.
That would be awesome. I noticed that you had someone writing cartel stuff on your website. Whatever happened to him? That was a good article. He did an article that was pretty good.
He may be a cartel
He,
guy.
oh shit! Oh shit! but
Maybe he is, maybe he's not.
mm,
One never knows,
mm.
but maybe that's why.
Joe, you did a show one time and it was fucking fun. A lot of them. You have so many funny fucking moments. But you did a show and you started off the show, I believe, with ACDC. Ironically, I'm wearing an ACDC shirt right now. And, and you started the show off. And in that show, you were blasting someone. I forgot who he was. I don't know if he was a rap, but it was someone you were blasting, and that person listened to the show and liked, he did not know that you were blasting him. He was like, oh, I like the ACDC music. And um and then and then he kind of listened in like 15 minutes, and you were
Then he
blasting him like,
realized,
what the fuck is going on here? Like, you remember that? I forgot who it was, but you were going after someone and they liked the
listen,
show because the ACDC or
all of
whatever.
the mob rats have come after me. J.R. Rubio came after me. As a
Mm,
matter of fact, there was a rat in the Stephen Crea case that's now
mm,
coming after me
mm,
all over my Mob Talk radio page. So I seem to be the guy they want to poke the most. And,
mm,
until these other channels realize that they're dealing with small potatoes. Like I'm not saying Gravano's small potatoes or whatever, or these other, but they're really Borello, small potatoes kind of guys. When you start getting the big name guys coming at you a little bit,
mm,
then, whatever. But I just, people say to me all the time, "Oh, if you had an opportunity to interview Gravano, you would." No, I wouldn't. I'd chew
mm.
on the end of a barrel of a gun before I did that. I don't need to be relevant by interviewing a rat.
Yeah.
You know, I,
And yeah, and as far as the mob talk, mob rats exposed. I remember on the FBS show that Calandra came on and and Mob Rats Exposed left. It wasn't that he was scared. Is he don't want nothing to do with rats. He don't
Well,
want to be in the same room as a fucking
you know
rat.
what it is that these guys do? They try, first of all, these guys are, for the most part, window lickers. And I think that anything that they can do to try to poke at Mob Rats Exposed, oh, you don't show your face, that makes you a rat. Well, not really. He's smart enough to protect himself. Or it's, you won't even talk to a rat, you're running out of the room, so you're a coward. That's really not either. But they try to use this like third grade psychoanalysis on people. And it's like, I think Lee Cole said at one point, I think that if he had realized what was going to happen to him, he never would have shown his face either. Yeah. So it's like, and I think the argument that I can make to defend MRE all the time is, look what they've done to me. Mm-hmm. Look what they continue to do to me. These guys think some guy in a car is going to drive to their house. Come on. Like it's nuts. They've actually gone to my house. They have actually gone to my mother's house. They have actually gone to my brother's work and harassed him and threatened to kill him. So Crazy. It's like, these are things. And then it gets to the point where your brother looks at you and has to say to you, you're my brother. I love you, but I can't have anything to do with you ever again. You're a danger to me. You're a danger to my brothers. You're a danger to your nieces and nephews. I want them, the ones who are complaining about this shit, to have that told to them and have their heart broken in two because of it.
And not a lot of people know that, man, that you've had family problems because of this, the show you do.
Well, and the problem is, and what other people that are listening to this are going to say is, oh, where's the tough guy act? The problem is the people that did this are informants. If I call them and I threaten them, how quick do you think I'm going to be locked up? Minutes.
Yeah, you can't threaten informants.
No.
You can't. Yeah, they'll lock your ass up real quick for that shit.
So people like Gene Morello, unfortunately, can call people pedophiles. But if you say anything to him that is remotely construed of you doing something to him, he's going to call his handler and you're going to jail for threatening a federal informant. It's just how it works, unfortunately. Do I wish that my brother had a bigger backbone? Absolutely. He's my brother.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's got a right to feel the way he does. And it is what it is. But I will tell you this much. As God is my witness, before I take my last breath, my face will be the last one that some of these people see. Because I'm not going to let them threaten my family and do this kind of shit. They took and this is for people that just don't understand the sickness. About 10 years ago, I was dating a girl, whatever. I was raising her child as my own, posting photos of me kissing the little girl on the cheek. She's sitting on my lap, calling me daddy, all of this. What did they do? They take the photo of wrote, he molests children.
Yeah, that's sick. That's fucking sick.
And some of the people that come into these chat rooms are the ones that are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And people wonder why I fly off the fucking handle. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you want to make fun of me because of the way, look, I they're saying I'm an alcohol fetus baby. They say all kinds of things. They can say whatever they want about how I look. They can say where they think I might live. But the minute that you accuse me of touching a child, then you have breached any law that would keep me from hurting you. It sort of goes away.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just. It's just fucked up. You just don't do that. And then they'll find people that I dated 10 years ago and they'll harass them.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And these new content makers, they've been on 3 months and they think
they got it easy.
Yeah.
They got it easy.
Yeah, you've been through a lot, man. And before we go, you mentioned your brother. You said a really funny story about you and your brother were watching The Sopranos and the phone was tapped.
Oh yeah. That was oh God, I don't remember what season it was, but he would call me on Sunday nights. At the time he was living in South Philadelphia, and he would call me and go, hey, did you watch a show? And we'd gossip like little girls on the phone about it. And we kept hearing this click, 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 click. And it would go on for about a minute at a time, and then it would stop. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm thinking to myself, my phone's got to be tapped. There's just the clicking. I hear it. So this went on for weeks. And then finally, my brother said, why don't you go to a fucking payphone? Your phone is fucking tapped. And I started laughing. And then guess what? 2 weeks later, feds come to my house. So they show me photos with this guy. They want to know this. They want to know that. And my father, God bless him and God rest his soul. God rest my father. Walks in and offers them donuts, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
And after about 10 minutes of them busting my ball, said, if you're not going to arrest him, get the fuck out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And my father knew I was up to no good. You know?
And then what was the talk? 'Cause I remember you said something about your father when that happened. He was like, what the fuck you doing? Like, what like,
after the fact.
Yeah.
See, first of all, when they came, the dog started barking, and my father had sort of a big property. And so my dad's like, oh my God, why are there 10 sheriff's deputies and FBI agents here? And I'm in my room, and I was fucking parlay betting. I was fucking gambling and bookmaking and stuff. And I had a hole in my wall, and I'm shoving money, and I'm shoving the parlay sheets in this hole in the wall at 100 miles an hour. And then I finally come downstairs, and turns out they were kind of there to bust my balls about some other things. And then afterwards, my father took me out back, and he says, there are things I want to know and things I don't want to know. He said, but you better tell me every goddamn fucking thing you've ever done from A to Z. And I'm like, card fraud, bank fraud, loan shark. But I went down a whole list of things I was doing. And he looked at me and he shook his fucking head and he says, Jesus Christ, son, you're gonna go to jail the rest of your life. And he looked at me and said, just do yourself a favor. Be smarter than everybody else you're around. That was it. That's all the advice I ever needed from him, you know, but he would never. God bless my father. You know, he could have beat me. He could have beat me senseless. He could have yelled at me. He could have chastised me. He just put his arm around me and says, that's my dumb son. You know?
And there's another funny story with your dad. He said, man, stay away from them Puerto Ricans. They're going to fucking rat on you.
Well,
like you were hanging out with some Puerto Ricans and they end up ratting on you.
So first of all, my father wasn't racist, right?
Yeah.
But I was hanging around people of different ethnicities, but I was kind of, I'm trying to loosely say there were some things that were going, there were some drugs that were moving around, just small nickel and dime shit, nothing big. But I had like an operation at car dealerships for invalid inspections, for cash, and just all kinds of stuff. And I had them kind of doing whatever I wanted to do. Go do this for me. Go, you know, like lackeys, go do this, go do that. And they were willing to do it. My father pulled me aside and says, the two Puerto Rican brothers are going to rat you the fuck out. He goes, especially this one over here to the right. Yeah. So a year goes by. I go to their sister's wedding and I get there and the sister comes to me and goes, my brother ratted you out. You might want to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, shit.
And I was on a military base, right? As soon as I walk out them church doors, make the sign of the cross, I'm out the door, boom, MPs and police everywhere. Ratted me the fuck out. Didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
But you live and you learn.
And your dad knew off rip that those two brothers were gonna do that.
He knew off the fucking rip they would do it.
And sometimes you don't know. Like when you're hanging out, like other people see it, like you know, people told me, hey man, that person over there, and you don't want to see it, and then later it bites you in the ass. Like you don't see it, you know. I think when you're younger, you're like, you know.
I think that he, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, I am my mother's son. I grew up in this stuff. I know how it works. I was smarter than them. These were guys that were from New York, that were living in a southern state at the time, who didn't understand organized crime. They didn't understand other than petty, like B&E shit, breaking and entering, that shit like that they could do. But they didn't understand that my level of expertise in that area was like light years ahead of where they would be. And my father used to always say, you know, I don't know what you're paying them. I don't know what you're doing, but don't give them too much because they're going to rat. I'm telling you, they're going to rat. And they did. And, you know, we all got fucked. I mean, nobody ever wins. And a lot of people have asked me over the years, did you ever run into that guy again? And I did after my father died at a gas station. And he says, yo, can I get a Newport? And I just kind of looked at him like, oh, it's been years. Let's walk down memory lane, rat. And I gave him a cigarette. I was nice. And you know, he said, I'm sorry to hear about your father, this, that, and the third. And I kind of stopped and I'm like, this is my moment. And I looked at him and I swear to God, I said this. I said, listen, you did what you did. It is what it is. But if I ever see you again, I will kill you.
Yeah.
My car. And I left. And that was the last I ever saw him. I see his brother all that. Well, I don't see his brother anymore, but I used to see him at Christmases and stuff like that. And his family was always good to me, even though their son ratted me out. They were always good to me and treated me like I was the family.
But it's crazy how he just goes up to you like nothing happened. Like, hey man, hey, like
that was pretty ballsy too, because
yeah,
I had two guys in the car with me that didn't like him and were looking for any fucking reason. And I just, I don't know. I guess he felt like he needed to save himself. And luckily I didn't go to prison. That's the only lucky thing that happened. Had I gone to prison my father would have died when I was in prison because he had cancer. If that had been the case, I would have come out on a Tuesday, killed him by a Thursday.
Yeah.
Like no hesitation. I wouldn't have cared at that point because I would have blamed him for, not seeing my father. Like a man, I have to admit I did dumb shit. But you live and learn, you grow up.
Yeah, but it was great, man. You got to spend time with your father. My father passed away a few years back too. So it's like, man, it's crazy when you're like, when a parent dies, it's just fucking crazy.
With my father, I always expected it to be like this grandiose, I'm leaving this world, son. Tell everybody I said suck my dick, or just something comedic. And he really didn't. He just kind of looked at me and said, I'm sorry it's like this. I'm sorry that, life ended up this way. And I had to look at him and say, it's okay to go. You can go. You're in pain. It's all right. And, I'm waiting, it's the I love you, son. I love you, Pop, trying to fight back tears. And he looked at me and he says, stay away from the Puerto Ricans. And he winked. And that was the last thing my father said to me. And he made the promise that I would stay out of crime. But mission accomplished. Who knows?
And when your dad said stay away from the Puerto Ricans, he's not saying like all Puerto Ricans, the group that you were hanging out with.
No, he just meant those two.
Yeah.
No, my father was not a racist guy whatsoever.
Yeah.
Not at all. Well, I don't know. He might have not. He probably didn't like Italians. He used to say some horrible shit to my mother.
Yeah.
But he was Irish. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. So hey guys, it's been an hour and 50 minutes. I pushed it real long. Man, Cuban B, South Philly. Tonight was great. Everyone was getting along, man. I didn't know to the last few hours that you were coming on. I really appreciate it. What I was gonna do is I was just gonna go over the videos and hang out, videos that I did this week, and hang out with everyone. I really appreciate you coming on to the Bodega.
Anytime you want me to come on, I'll come on.
That's awesome. Tuesday, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna go live Tuesday. I'm gonna try to push it. Go live 2 weeks, and then Friday, I'll try to go on 2 hours on Fridays. But tonight was great. Carol, I see you. Angel, she says great show. Rat Inks, I seen you. Thanks for everyone joining. Any last words? Would you like to give any last words, Jeff Canarsie?
Go fuck yourself.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for coming, and we're out of here.
See ya.
God bless.